When someone you love says, "I'll come back when I feel like it," you realize love isn't about timing anymore. It's about power. My name's Daniel, and I never thought I'd become the man waiting by the phone for a message that might never come. Ava and I had been together for 5 years. We met in college. She was the wild, confident girl who laughed too loud at parties, and I was the quiet type who thought love meant showing up, fixing things, being steady. For a while we balanced each other out perfectly. She gave me color, I gave her calm. But stability, I later learned, is only attractive until someone starts craving chaos again. It started small. Canceled dinners. Late-night texts that said working late, but never explained where. She changed her perfume, began wearing makeup just to run errands. I didn't want to believe what I already knew. Love makes you blind, but denial makes you stupid. One Friday night she walked in, suitcase in hand, lips already forming the line that would rewrite our story. "I need space," she said. I asked if she was leaving me. She rolled her eyes. "God, Daniel, not everything's about you. I just need to clear my head. I'll come back when I feel like it." No timeline. No explanation. Just that. She packed her life into a weekend bag and left me standing in the hallway, holding her favorite mug like it was proof she'd return. For the first week I didn't call. I told myself it was temporary. I kept her plants alive, folded her laundry, and even kept her toothbrush by the sink. But every passing day felt like erasing a chalk drawing in the rain. The shape remained, but the color faded. Then one night I checked her social media. There she was, laughing in a rooftop bar. A man's arm draped casually around her waist. The caption read, "Freedom looks good on me." I stared at that photo until my hands shook. That's when something inside me broke, quietly like a glass cracking under heat. I didn't yell, didn't message, didn't even unfollow. Instead, I started planning the only response that mattered, not revenge, not begging, but clarity. If she wanted to feel free, I'd show her what freedom really looked like, the kind that doesn't wait at the door. 2 weeks passed. The house was quieter than ever. No humming from her playlist, no perfume lingering in the hallway. But silence, I realized, isn't always loneliness. Sometimes it's space to breathe. I started running again, cooking for myself, fixing up the garage. Each small act stitched me back together piece by piece. Then, on a Thursday night, I got her text. "Hey, just checking in. Hope you're okay." It wasn't concern. It was curiosity, the kind that comes when someone expects you to still be waiting. I typed a simple reply. "Doing fine." She didn't answer for hours, and then came the message that twisted the knife a little deeper. "I'll come back when I feel like it." I stared at the screen for a long time, then laughed, not the kind that feels good, but the kind that comes from finally understanding the joke. I wasn't the one waiting anymore. She just didn't know it yet. That weekend, I got invited to a friend's engagement party. I almost declined. The idea of smiling in a crowd felt exhausting, but something told me to go. That night changed everything. The party was at a vineyard outside the city, all warm lights and laughter echoing through open fields. I was pouring myself a drink when I heard a voice behind me say, "You still make whiskey look classy." I turned and saw Elena, an old college friend I hadn't seen in years. She was radiant, confident, funny, the kind of person who talked with her whole face. We caught up for hours, laughing like we'd stepped back in time. For the first time since Ava left, I didn't feel like a man waiting for someone else's permission to live. When the night ended, Elena asked if I'd like to meet again for coffee. I said yes without hesitation. The next morning, as I scrolled through my messages, Ava's name popped up again. "Are you home this weekend? I might stop by." I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my photo gallery and looked at the picture a friend had taken the night before. Me and Elena under the string lights, smiling, relaxed, alive. The contrast was striking. I looked free. Not broken, not bitter, just done waiting. I hit send. No caption. Just the photo. 3 minutes later, Ava replied. "Who's that?" For the first time in months, I smiled. She finally cared to ask. The typing bubbles on my phone appeared, disappeared, and came back again. Ava didn't know what to say, and that told me everything I needed to know. 4 years she had been the one in control, deciding when to talk, when to love, when to leave. But that picture shifted the balance. For once, she was the one wondering, what if he doesn't wait for me this time? After a long pause, her next message came. "You moved on already?" I replied. "You said you'd come back when you felt like it." I decided not to wait until then. No anger. No drama. Just truth. She didn't answer for an hour and then my phone rang. I let it ring out. She called again. And again. Finally, she sent a text. Can we talk? Please. When she arrived at the house the next evening, she looked different. Not put together like before. More like someone who'd realized a mistake too late. She stood in the doorway, eyes darting around the living room as if expecting to find traces of herself still there. Who is she? She asked quietly. I looked at her, the woman I'd once built my whole life around. Someone who doesn't treat love like a waiting room. Her lips trembled. So that's it? After everything? I almost laughed. After everything, yes. Because everything was me giving and you disappearing every time you got bored. She sat down, tears filling her eyes. I didn't think you'd ever stop trying. I know, I said. That was the problem. There was a silence that stretched between us, heavy but freeing. I realized then that closure doesn't always come with an apology. Sometimes it comes with finally recognizing your worth. She stood up, wiped her eyes and said softly, I miss you. I nodded. You'll get me only when I feel like it now. For a moment she looked stunned. Maybe even proud that I'd finally learned her game. But this wasn't revenge. It was release. That night I met Elena again for coffee. She asked me what the story behind the photo was, and I told her the truth. Not the dramatic version, just the simple one. I sent it to remind someone that life doesn't pause for absence. She smiled and said, Good. Don't ever let it. Ava never came back after that. She texted a few more times, each message shorter, colder, more uncertain. Eventually they stopped. And me? I finally learned that sometimes the most powerful message you can send is a picture of peace.